Greetings, citizens of Podcast City. I ask you to look upon me and heed my warning. As of this moment, you are all now fully aware that the following program is rated mature and is intended solely for those of the legal age to smoke, vote, and purchase pornography. If you find yourself at all easily disturbed by the harsh realities of obscene language, then perhaps you should turn back now before your mind becomes permanently stained with the wicked ways of professional wrestling. Every conceivable form of listener and viewer discretion is strongly advised.
Beat me if you can. Survive if I let you.
Let's get nuts.
Pull the fucking trigger! Kids, I'm hateful. I'm the tattoo clown.
Everyone thinks because you're a zombie, you don't know good coffee. Well, they're wrong. There's only one brew that gets my seal of approval. Deadly Grounds coffee is my guilty pleasure. The aroma is so intoxicating. It brings all of my neighbors out of the woodwork. Deadly Grounds coffee. Coffee to die for and zombie approved. It's good to get a little deadly. Use the front door! Oh, they're so disgusting.
Hey, welcome to Off the Rope Tuesday. I am Diggz.
I am Jack Torrance.
I'm going somewhere with Jack Torrance. He's there somewhere.
Yeah, all I'm seeing is our old flyer of my picture from like 20 years ago there, so.
Back when you had hair.
Glory days.
I just want everyone to know we appreciate your support. Please go like, share, subscribe, click that button on YouTube. Give us a old hey, how do you do? We would appreciate that immensely because, well, we do this shit for you and for us, but we want more subscribers. So do it. We told you so.
Oh, hell yeah. All right, now I get it. Sorry. I thought we were already starting off with some technical difficulty there. No. I'm like, I can't see you.
No, that was just me just throwing some air balls as I itch my armpit live on camera,
Sexy boy. Yeah, I can dig it, Daddy. We certainly do appreciate all the support we have received thus far through, what is it now? This will be match number 9. But we certainly could use some more, folks. So if you don't mind, hit that little blue thumb.
Give a share on the Facebook. Share on the Facebooks when you see us make those lovely posts and those lovely memes that Jack Torrance puts out there to attract your comedic attention.
We sure do appreciate you, folks. But yes, as you mentioned, it is time to kick off match number 9. Oh, hell, ching.
Hang on.
Yeah.
This side.
There
it is.
There it is.
What match is going to be our main event?
Oh,
that's a question we need to ponder.
Indeed. Just like, pretty much any other week, we certainly got a lot to cover here.
There's a lot going on.
Oh boy, is there ever! I think the biggest news of the week, we probably should hit on that first and foremost, was the releases. The big time releases.
That's where I was going.
Yes, sir, Bobby. Last week, as many of you are now well aware, the WWE made some big time cuts, and a few of these were quite surprising, to say the least. Very huge, very, very shocking and appalling all at the same time. Yeah. But there was, 5 releases in one day last week from the WWE. And Santana Garrett, I don't know who that was, but he's gone. Lana is out. Buddy Murphy.
That was kind of a shocker one for me, seeing Lana go.
Yeah, she was just on Raw,
a week prior with Miz.
Yeah. I kind of had a feeling though once Rusev, now Miro, switched over to AEW that it probably only be a matter of time before she was out of there. So yes, Lana joins the list along with Buddy Murphy, Ruby Riott, who was another one that was like just at the pay-per-view and whatnot. Did not see that coming. And I would say obviously the two biggest surprises of the releases from WWE last week are, of course, Aleister Black and Braun Strowman.
Braun's the big one for me.
Mm-hmm.
I saw that, and as soon as I saw that, I shot you a message right away because, well, it's what we do,
right?
But Braun being Braun and big part of the WWE for the past number of years, like gone.
Yeah, talk about from out of nowhere. I'm still kind of shocked by this. I was really at a loss for words when I first heard about it.
I'd like to see him go on the AEW side and see what he can really do over there because he's such a powerhouse. I think he would kill it over there.
Absolutely. AEW, I really won't be surprised. They probably are already in talks with him. He is on a 90-day you can't do shit Vince clause. So we won't see anything for him for at least 3 months. But yeah, AEW, if they have any sense at all, they are not going to pass up a golden opportunity like Braun Strowman. Strowman came into WWE, I believe it was in 2015, as a part of the Wyatt family.
Yep.
And granted, he was in a main event, WrestleMania. He won the Universal title and whatnot. But even at all that, aside from when he was with the Wyatts, because I love the Wyatt family, but I just never thought they really used him right. Anytime after that, when they broke him off as just, a singles guy and he lost the sheet mask and everything, I wanted more of him and Lesnar at the time when Lesnar was the champ. There was a lot of chances they had to do good stuff with him, and a lot of times they wasted it, like making him tag team champions with Nicholas.
Like come on.
Nicholas, some kid that was the son of somebody who worked for the company. Just made him a tag team champion. I thought at first when it happened, it was like a wish kid, make a wish thing. I was like, okay, that is cool. That I understand. No, there's nothing wrong with Nicholas. Nicholas is fine. And we all had to suffer because of his dad pulling some strings. So that's in a nutshell how they use Braun Strowman. So I know AEW can certainly come up with something better for him than Nicholas.
Well, I was definitely going to bring that up, how they didn't use Braun to his potential at all. I mean, they tried to give him that little run after Mania with Lashley, and it didn't last long. He's worth so much more than Vince and the WWE writers gave him credit to do. Again, it's going back to that, what we talked about 2, 3, 4 weeks ago of Kevin Owens and other wrestlers not being used to their potential.
Mm-hmm.
So Vince and the writers need to get the head out of their ass before they start losing more talent to AEW, and that's all I gotta say about that. Get your head out.
Yeah, speaking of what you just mentioned there, that actually is going to come up a little later on the SmackDown breakdown. Talk about great wrestlers being underutilized, underused, and just disrespected in every way, as far as I'm concerned. But we'll get to that later. So, Guy Manley in the house. Nicholas was the son of a referee. All right, I knew it was somebody who worked within the company. So that's all it was, a ref's son. We, for whatever reason, decided, he should be at WrestleMania in winning tag team champion gold.
That kid had stories for days.
Right?
Braun. Where's my opportunity like that?
Seriously, we never get shit, man.
All the shit and money we spend on these fucking things. Where's our shot at tag team championships besides making our own and wrestling in the backyard? God damn it.
I don't know, man. My father was a firefighter, so the only strings he could have pulled for me, I guess, was to set me on fire. So some kids get it made. What can I say?
My dad worked in a print shop, so I could cut paper.
Yeah. I was well versed in how to put out fires as a young lad. So some kids get to work in wrestling, other kids don't. So you spoiled little shit, Nicholas. You were one of the lucky ones.
So there's two. We didn't get to talk much about the Foley A&E biography last week because you hadn't seen it yet.
Yeah, I got caught up on that. Before we skip ahead, though, I just want to say to wrap up the release thing there.
My apologies.
No worries. Aleister Black was another one I wanted to hit on because that guy is awesome. He had a great run in NXT when they were using him properly. And then as soon as he jumped to Monday nights, it was like, okay, here's another case of we don't know what to do with him, even though he's really talented. And then he got hurt and he was out for a while. And they just for the last couple of months had been doing these vignettes of him making his return from injury. And he comes back and he screws things up for Big E in an Intercontinental Championship match. You're thinking, okay, here's the new feud, Big E and Aleister. That's cool. And then a week later or whatever, he's gone.
Yep.
Really weird, really strange. There was a lot of rumors because of this floating around that Vince was supposedly going to sell the company, which I know was complete horseshit. Vince will clutch onto that company until the day he's in a grave. But still, I don't understand Strowman and Aleister Black especially. Just literally makes no sense to me. But hopefully someone will figure out how to use them properly. We shall see.
Well, and hopefully WWE gets back on the pages of entertainment as opposed to this PG shit. I get it. It's got to be a little bit PG with kids and all that. You want to shoot your audience that way. I understand it. But at the same time, from a business standpoint, you're going to start losing more and more fans because you're letting good wrestlers go. And case in point, when we get into the Raw later, some shit that kind of went down on Raw with AJ Styles and Omos that we'll get into, but it's just the PG era is done. It's over. It's time to step it up again to some sort of edgy material.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And you don't have to go back to the smut side of it from the Attitude Era. I mean, look at what AEW is doing. They're a TV MA program, but they're not having girls out there flashing their shit and wrestling in fucking pudding matches or whatever the hell stupid shit we used to see. So you can do it without all that, but I still think as long as Vince has a pulse, it's never going to change. As long as he's still got breath in his lungs, it's just gonna be what it is. And I personally think the guy's starting to really slip because there's been a lot of stuff that's happening recently that just makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. So,
case in point, Zombies at Mania.
Right? Thank you. Oh, dear Lord.
Before we get too far ahead of ourselves, thank you, Dorkening Podcast Network, for the sponsorship. And thank you to Deadly Grounds Coffee for, keeping us going during the weeks and in the nights so we can keep this shit afloat. We appreciate you all, and thank you for the support.
Right on. Definitely, you guys rock, and we wouldn't be here without you. So thank you very kindly indeed. I believe you were going to bring up the A&E biographies, if I'm not mistaken.
If we're ready to go that way, I kind of jumped the gun, kind of shot prematurely.
I figured they're certainly worth a mention. As you said, yes, I hadn't seen the Mick Foley one last week. I watched that since then. And I also saw the Bret Hart one on Sunday night. And both of them were phenomenal. Oh, even better than I thought they were going to be.
I didn't see the Bret Hart one. I got turned on to the Dark Side of the Ring with Jake the Snake.
Yeah, I'm still behind on Dark Side as well. I haven't seen the Ultimate Warrior one, and then this newest one, Jake's father, Grizzly Smith, which I knew a lot of bad shit about him before I've even seen this episode. So I'm highly intrigued and horrified at the same time.
I didn't know a lot about what went on behind the scenes with Grizzly Smith and Jake's family, but watching that was tough to watch. That was a tough one to watch. Yeah,
it leaves a bad taste in your mouth, no doubt about it. Jim Ross actually spoke about Grizzly Smith back in the day in his book Under the Black Hat. And Jim, Ross never pulled any punches on anybody. If you were an asshole, you were an asshole. If you were cool, you were cool. He's still that way to this day. That's why I love JR. But he didn't have anything good to say about Grizzly Smith when he had to work with him back in whatever Southern territory that was many moons ago.
So I did see feedback saying that the Bret Hart one on A&E, the biography, was the best one of the series. I haven't caught it yet. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, it's tough because I went right from, they've all been spectacular. I haven't seen a single one that wasn't great since the initial one, the Stone Cold one. But, right now I just went and watched the Foley one, and then I went ahead and watched the Bret Hart one Sunday night, and I kind of have them tied because they were both so good. I saw the Foley one, and Pops Ghostly, our good pal there, had mentioned to me he saw it and he was like, "This is the best one they've done so far." I hadn't seen it yet, and so I watched that. Now I'm comparing it with the Bret Hart one. Yeah, Pops is there. Thank you, buddy. He's going with Bret as well. So yeah, I think as great as I love the Foley one. Pops, you are correct. Pops Ghostly in the house. I'm going with the Bret one. I'm not gonna lie, dude. I was waterworks at the end of that one.
For Bret?
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely. I already knew the whole story. I've read his autobiography a gazillion times. I can't recommend it enough. I mentioned it all the time on this show. I know for any of you out there who haven't read it, but when most people think of Bret, you just automatically think of poor Owen passing away. But
oh yeah,
even after Owen died, so much other horrible shit happened to that poor man. And yeah, I don't want to spoil anything for you or anyone else out there who hasn't seen it, but yeah, it's oh boy, it's a lot.
I know a good chunk about Bret's backstory, but again, we've said it before. Going in and watching these biographies, you're going to learn so much more than you didn't know.
Yeah.
So I'm intrigued and excited to go watch that later tonight when we get off doing this, to really see what was behind the scenes with Bret Hart. Because I did watch the Foley one, and that was tremendous. I also did see feedback that people were not liking these A&W. I want root beer now. The A&W. Jesus Christ, A&E biographies, and they said the Bret one was the only one worth watching. But I mean, to their opinions, of course, but in my eyes, in my opinion, they've all been phenomenal.
Yeah. Anyone who doesn't like this, in my opinion, can kiss my flat white Irish ass because they're great. I don't see how anyone could not be a fan. I mean, I know the Macho Man one got some backlash from his family, but I mean, I'm guessing it's because they had that part where him and Gorgeous George are high as kites on ecstasy on Nitro. Not painting the best picture, but I mean,
right.
If they're being honest, with the story. This is what happened in his life. So, a lot of bad shit happened in these guys' lives over the years and stuff they're not proud of, but that's the truth. So. But yeah, can't recommend these biographies enough. This actually, the Bret one, I believe this was the last one, if I'm not mistaken. They're all done now.
Good. So I can get caught up now with the rest of them.
Yeah, I think they're probably all on demand or whatever the funk. I have them all on my DVR anyways. I've watched the Stone Cold one now like probably 5 times. It's Stone Cold. So probably with Foley too.
Couple of quick shouts, people watching in here tonight: Pops Ghostly, Guy Manley, and Amy Young. Thank you guys for tuning in, listening to us rant and bullshit.
Yes, that's our triple threat right there. Those three, they are here each and every week, and we fucking love you guys. Thank you.
I can't say enough about the
triple threat.
The triple threat there. They're our main core. So
yes, I like the old.
Give yourselves a good old pat on the back.
Right, the old Barry Horowitz. This is for you guys. Right on. We love you, dudes. So, now that all that's over,
before we get into our jibber jabber of recappers, WWE has started a new thing on A&E as well. Will they go fishing and looking for old school merchandise to put into their future museum? I guess.
Yep, they're finally gonna make one.
They fucking listen to our show. That's why.
Yeah, right. I guess. No, Vince, he is so insane. He probably is listening to our show and being like, "That's what I gotta do."
But I'm not gonna pay those guys. God damn it! No.
Oh hell no! That's why he's Vince. That's why he's a genius.
But this past week, they actually went down to down here in Wareham. Was one of the shows. Roger, from the owner of Purchase Street Records over in New Bedford, right next door to Kojo's Toy World. Roger, a good guy. Had the Brutus the Barber Beefcake original shears.
Yipper, that was pretty cool. I actually got to meet Roger a few weeks back there when I went to Kojo's there with my boy Single H, and real cool guy. Love the store, by the way. You guys should definitely check out his record shop there in New Bedford, Purchase Street Records. Right on. But yeah. But yeah, it was pretty cool to see him on there, and the guy. Oh man.
Just that the collectors have and how they obtained it is like,
dude,
mind-boggling to me.
that's the hardest part about this show for me. I really like it, but what I was alluding to there is when they go into these people's houses and you see their collections, and I'm just like, because it's like, dude, that's everything I've always wanted.
And there's the show, folks. We are done for the night.
Break it down. But yeah, I mean,
oh, I get it. I get it.
Every time I see these guys, all the stuff they have, it's like, man, I'm normally not the most. I try not to be the most jealous guy, but come on, I was fucking.
Well, look at the shit they have.
Greener than a leprechaun watching that fucking shit.
I mean, you look at Roger's house. He's got like the original NWA belt. He's got beefcake shears. He's got animals spike shoulder pads.
Yeah,
war ones.
Right.
And then you look at some of the other guys, and Greg the Hammer Valiant, like the mask that they bought for Beefcake.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, and he said it was just him and his dad as he was growing up, just being fans and collecting shit. That's so cool. I think it's badass.
Makes you think about all the stuff that we got from wrestlers back in the day, wondering now, like, if I actually fucking kept that.
Yeah, it's either stuff I wish I, hadn't played with, or stuff my brother took it upon himself to set on fire or whatever. That's life. It was just like when Single H and I were up at Kojo's and we're looking around all these toys, and I'm like, man, I had that, I had that, I had that, I had that, and that's going for how much money right now? Ho!
Well, that's the thing. When we went up there too with Madison, I'm looking at the old school WWF figures, the small plastic ones.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I could walk into like Kmart and buy like 4 of those for $20, and now I can't buy one for 30.
Yeah, right.
I'm like,
not even close.
All these guys. Why did I play with these? Why was I a stupid kid?
Yeah.
Have them packaged up.
That's what we get for being born boys, I guess. We were stupid. Well, not that a lot's changed. I mean, at least in my case.
But yeah, I wanted to give a quick shout out to that because they did Jake the Snake after that.
Yeah, I watched that too. That show, I thought that was great.
And that guy's museum.
Yeah,
in his house. Oh my god!
And dude, I mean, Jake talking about Honky Tonk. That's still one of those moments that I'll never forget.
I never knew that was a real beef until.
Yeah. Because I mean, that was a legit guitar, and I mean, I love Jimmy Hart, Mouth of the South. He was kind of blowing it off like, oh, Jake is, over exaggerating or whatever the case may be. But I have to disagree with the Mouth of the South on that one. That was a real guitar. And you go back, they showed that clip of Jake getting the initial hit by Honky Tonk over and over again. And it's just such a solid to the head. And then, like Jake said, there he is giving it his all. Honky Tonk is hitting him in the back as hard as he can with the said guitar, and it still wouldn't break. So, yeah, that was not your old Slapnuts Double J gimmick guitar. That was a real fucking guitar.
Well, that too. And then if you heard Jake, he was like, yeah, I don't know how he missed my back on that first shot. And you could see Honky spin him around and legit go right for his cranium.
Yeah. So that's a understandably real beef between Jake and Honky Tonk. That's why, as you saw, they had Jimmy Hart on instead of Honky Tonk, because Jake's like, don't bring him anywhere near me. He'll see him like crack. He would have, even as old as he is now. But I know that a lot of guys were not fans of Honky Tonk as far as, the boys in the locker room back in the day. There was one part I thought was funny. Jake even said something like, he'd be having a match with Honky and he'd go to put him in a headlock or something. Honky Tonk would freak out. Be like, don't mess up my hair. Like, really, dude? You're a wrestler. That's what you're worried about? Your Elvis hair?
Right.
So, yeah. Jerry Lawler's cousin, he is actually the Honky Tonk. But I can't blame Jake the Snake for still being pissed after all these years, because there was no need to not only use a real guitar, but then, of course, hit him as hard as he possibly could with a real guitar.
And he shattered 2 vertebrae on it, too.
Yeah, or 3, I think he said he had to have, like, removed. And he kept, because back then, you give up your spot, Vince is on to the next guy. You're not making money anymore. So he kept going and doing it the wrong way by compensating for the pain with drugs. And we know how that turned out for Jake. So, yeah, there's some legit beef there between Honky Tonk and Jake the Snake. I'm in Jake's corner on that one. I don't care.
Yeah, I got to be in Jake's corner, too. That was Honky just being unprofessional and being a prick.
But I mean,
you're
not to mention, Honky Tonk was not a good wrestler. I'm sorry. He may have held the Intercontinental Championship for so long as he did, which was, I do miss those days of really, really long title runs. I'll give him that. But
Right.
all you ever wanted from the Honky Tonk Man was to see him get destroyed. Nobody wanted to see him actually do well. So
No, he did, and he, in my eyes, he was not the greatest IC champion.
we've been joined, sorry to interrupt, but we've been joined by What's That Guy Doing? Who
What's
says,
up,
good
Jay?
evening, gentlemen. Hola, senor. Thanks for
We now
climbing
have
aboard.
our 4 horse people. I'm going to say
Ooh,
the 4
woo.
horsemen are here.
Figure 4 is for all.
Woo!
Woo.
But yeah, that was an interesting episode to watch and realize
Yeah.
a shit ton of beef.
Great show too. I really
yeah.
like the Treasure Show. It's like American Pickers, but it's only about wrestling, kind of. So
Which is
good
great.
shit, man.
And I think it's kind of sad that holds my attention more than Monday Night Raw. What's that say to you, Vince?
Yeah, seriously, right? Because I mean, I'm glued to that show, and I actually flipped on some of Raw last night after I was just so horribly disgusted with the Bruins. And
Let's not go there.
yeah, I'm not.
Why do you got to bring it up? Why?
Well, it's just to, I guess this is because I'm a masochist. Because what did I do after suffering the Bruins game? I made things worse on myself and watched Raw. So pour salt on the wounds.
Well put.
But yeah, you're right. I mean, I didn't see anything there that really stood out to me. I wasn't really completely tuned in either. So show like Treasures or the biography, whoo, I can't get enough. I mean, tractor beams suck me right in, but that, whatever they're calling Raw now, is just bleh. Bleh. Like Chuck and Goonies. Bleh.
Baby room.
And then this one time, I pushed my sister down the stairs and I blamed it on the dog. I had to get in my chunk moment.
$50 bill. $50 bill.
Data. Yes. So where are we headed there, guy?
Oh, we're going to go. I guess we're going to hit the AEW Dynamite deposition.
Indeedly do. All rise for the AEW deposition.
And before we start the deposition, please send all requests of how we're doing. If you like us, if you don't like us, to offtheropestuesdays@gmail.com. We will respond possibly.
Indeed. Oh, we'll respond. You might not like it, but we will respond. So,
to the deposition we go.
To the deposition on a special Friday night edition of Dynamite. Once again, things fired up with an AEW Tag Team Championship match as the Young Bucks defeated Death Triangle members Pac and Penta El Hierro Miedo in the Curtain Jerker this past Friday. Before things even got underway, Frankie Kazarian enacted some revenge on Michael Nakazawa as he was involved in the breakup of SCU a few weeks back. And this was a great opening bout with a ton of 6 spots and back and forth action that included a point where all 4 combatants were on the ring apron, aka the hardest part of the ring, as every commentator loves to tell us over and over again. And while Nick Jackson hit Pac on the apron with a German suplex, Penta simultaneously scored a package pile driver on Matt Jackson. In the end, though, it was a distraction from the Young Bucks gimp, Brandon Cutler, that caused Pac to get rolled up for the 1, 2, 3. Eddie Kingston ran out for some revenge and an assist to Pac and Penta as they were treated to a post-match beatdown after it was announced at the top of the show that Kingston's tag team partner John Moxley had been injured at the hands of the Bucks of Youth at Double or Nothing and will therefore be out indefinitely, which is really just code for his wife, Renee Young, former WWE commentator, is pregnant and ready to pop any second now. She may have already, I don't know. So they're obviously giving Mox time off for the birth of his first child. So that makes a lot of sense to me, I suppose, but don't expect Mox to be a stay-at-home dad for very long. He'll be back very soon, I'm sure.
Well, not with shows going back on the road too.
Oh yeah. So hey, that's what happens when you marry into the wrestling business, folks.
Wrestlers.
Pardone. Things rolled on when Tony Schiavone introduced Mark Henry. That's right, the world's strongest man, sexual chocolate himself, who was then rudely interrupted by everyone's favorite human banshee, Vicky Guerrero, as Vicky announced to the world that her latest signee was none other than Andrade El Idolo. I'm sure I'm pronouncing his last name wrong. His last name is new now because he's AEW and not WWE. I'm sure most of you out there know about Andrade. He was released from the WWE a few months ago, and AEW gone scooped him up. Yipper. So hopefully they will do the same thing for Aleister Black and Braun Strowman in the coming months. That remains to be seen. Next up on the card was a tag team match that featured the team of Cody Rhodes and Lee Johnson taking on Factory members QT Marshall and Anthony Ogogo. And the finish for this one saw Ogogo take advantage of the fact that the ref was distracted by outside interference. I can't remember the last time that ever happened in professional wrestling. And that's when he cold-cocked Cody with a knockout right hand that gave QT the opportunity to steal a pinfall victory over the American Dream. I'll say this once again, real quick. Please, AEW, bury this storyline. No one cares. No one cares. Enough of Cody and QT Marshall. It's over. We don't want it anymore. We don't want it anymore. All right. Dynamite continues.
You done beat the dead horse.
Yeah, and then some. Oh, man, this thing is already rotted and turned to bones by now. Just give it up. The flies have even quit on this one. So please, find something else for Cody already before I start choking on my own rage again.
Oh, I want that.
I took extra BP medicine, don't worry. Dynamite continued this past Friday night with a promo from the members of the Inner Circle, who were riding high after their Stadium 2 victory at Double or Nothing over the Pinnacle. And during the promo, the Inner Circle made it nice and sparkling clear that their feud with the Pinnacle is anything but over. The night then heated up with the third tag team match of the evening when newly crowned number one contender for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship, Jungle Boy Jack Perry, joined Christian Cage to square off against Private Party, who was accompanied to the ring by their manager, the evil Matthew Hardy. This was another solid contest, and when it was time for the fat lady to sing, Jungle Boy and Christian came away victorious after Jack forced Mark Quinn to tap out to the snare trap, but the wily Matthew, he wasn't done, and he went ahead and ruined that win when he delivered a twist of fate on the entrance ramp to Christian. So don't be surprised if we see a feud brewing here between Christian and Matt Hardy. Obviously, a lot of history between those boys, going back to the old TLC days. Glory times those were indeed. So, boy, do we all, my friend. Boy, do we all. Moving on, the newly crowned AEW Women's Champion, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, had a championship celebration complete with a slew of Big Macs. Like, for real, she had this big tray of Big Macs, even though she looks like she weighs, 98 pounds maybe. And I'm not making fun of her. I'm not trying to say anything bad. She's in great shape. She looks great. But I guess her favorite thing in the world, I actually found this on Instagram, is Big Macs. So
she's one of those girls that could actually eat Big Macs to the face and out-eat us. And not just a pound.
Yeah, and she has no fat on her. So good for you, Dr. Britt. More power to you. I wish I had that power. I look at a McDonald's commercial and I gain 5 pounds. So whatever, man.
That's the truth.
But I guess better for her than me. I mean, most people don't want to look at me. They want to look at Dr. Britt. So probably a good thing there. Where was I here? Yes, so there was a slew of Big Macs, but things didn't go according to plan for the champ when suddenly Nyla Rose decided she'd heard enough and proceeded to slap a Big Mac out of Britt's hand before throwing the tray of Big Macs down to the mat and storming out of the ring. So I think it's safe to say we now know who the newly crowned AEW Women's Champion will be feuding with for that belt. It's going to be Miss Nyla Rose. Also on the show, Team Taz told Hangman Adam Page to find himself a tag team partner for this coming week's Dynamite, as he was issued a challenge from Brian Cage and Powerhouse Hobbs. And then Scorpio Sky, along with Ethan Page, pretty much did the same thing and challenged Darby Alley. Darby Alley. There's my first one of the evening. Darby Alley. That's a pretty good one. I'm going to have to remember that. They challenged Darby Allin telling the former TNT champion to get a different partner aside from his fellow face-painted cohort Sting for this Friday's show, because according to them, he can only win when Sting is in the house. Red Velvet picked up a win over the Bunny, and this one, oh boy. This included a very, very close call for Red Velvet. For any of you out there know what I'm talking about, watch Dynamite Live on Friday. She went for a tope suicide dive, if you will, to the outside on the Bunny. And so she goes over the second rope and she just launched herself like 1,000,000 miles an hour. She comes out like a bullet. And dude, it was one of those, like, she landed and her body went backwards. Her neck was still going the opposite way kind of thing. I was like, oh no, oh no.
Like one of those old school Undertaker suicide dives over
Yeah,
the
dude.
kind of deal.
Yeah. Luckily she popped right back up though. But if you haven't seen it, go back and look. It's one of those moments like, oh shit, she might just have been permanently paralyzed or who knows what. So yeah, very close call for Red Velvet, but yeah, she had a good match there as she picked up a win over Bunny. And in the main event for this past Friday's Dynamite, we were treated to a match stipulation that I had not seen done in many a fortnight. That was Nick Comoroto taking on Dustin Rhodes in a bull rope match.
Oh.
A long, long time since we've seen a bull rope match in the world of wrestling. I still remember being at the Living Dangerously pay-per-view in Danbury, Connecticut many years ago. That was the infamous show where New Jack almost died. One of the many times he almost died. And one of the matches, I think it was the opening match on the card, was actually the Dusty Rhodes. The only time I ever got to see Dusty live and in person, took on Steve Corino. And I just remember Corino just covered in blood and Dusty just working him with the cowbell. It was great. So pretty cool to see an old stipulation like the bull rope match come back. Now, this match was, of course, made famous by Dustin's father, the late, great Dusty Rhodes. And it's Comoroto. I still don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right. He's the really fucking hairy guy. If you guys know, I'm screwing his name up. But yeah, he got busted wide open when he was struck with the cowbell portion of the bull rope during the match. But in the end, experience paid off for Dustin, who heading into this match had only lost one bull rope match in his career. And I didn't know until I found this out a little later. He actually beat my boy Terry Funk, the legendary Funker himself, in a bull rope match a few years back. Well, more than a few years back now. But yeah, this night was no different as Dustin.
Right.
I still just want to call him Gold Dust. That's the problem. But yeah, Dustin came out on top with the main event victory. And that is your AEW deposition for the week of June 4th. Court is dismissed.
That was a hell of a deposition.
I do what I can for the people, man. I do what I can.
It's all about the people.
That's right.
All about the people. Do we want to jump right into the SmackDown, or do we want to hit on some history in between?
I say we break it up with a little history guy.
All right.
All right, guy. I'm your buddy guy.
You just had a mouthful of shit spew out your mouth.
As I normally do.
When I was doing history, I realized today was not June 7th. Today was June 8th. So
yes, indeed it was.
history for June 7th as well.
Going back in time. Always check that calendar, folks.
Always check the calendar, because especially if you go to Barnesville High School.
Or if you're approaching 40 and you don't have full-blown Alzheimer's, you're just developing the half-Simers.
Well, I've approached it. I'm approaching 41 now.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Has this world come?
Really looking forward to the day when a bowl of cereal scares me to death.
And I start eating Golden Grams like my
Yeah, nothing like getting old. Living off applesauce, we will be.
Hey, I still love applesauce. Is great.
I love pizza sauce.
June 8th history.
Mm.
One, it is Dan the Beast Severin's birthday.
I did not know that.
Happy birthday, Mr. Beast.
The Beast, the original Beast.
Yes, the original. Also, 28 years ago, NWA presented the first Clash of the Champions.
I actually had that differently on June 8th, 1988. Well, maybe that was the first one. Okay.
Well, what do you have?
I have June 8th, 1988. The NWA held Clash of the Champions 2, Miami Mayhem in Florida. So was that the first Clash of the Champions you were talking about?
I might have messed that up. I did have Clash of the Champions that day.
All right.
It might have been my poor research.
Meh.
What can I say? It happens.
I'm sure Harvey Whippleman won't sue you over it, so we'll be fine.
Harvey Whippleman.
So what else is going on there, Mr. Diggz, in the world of history?
19 years ago, Triple H won the WWF King of the Ring.
Ah, yes. The title he was supposed to win the year prior, but thanks to the anti-kayfabe Madison Square Garden click incident, Stone Cold got the honors instead that year. Oh!
And that's what made Stone Cold Stone Cold.
Hell yeah.
Because Austin 316 says, I just beat your ass.
Oh, he beat a lot of asses.
I got one more news. I don't know what you have for how many events you have for your newscasting, your history lesson today.
I only have two other to speak of, unless you hit one of them now. So
I've got one left, and it's 12 years ago. John Bradshaw Layfield fired from CNBC following an incident in Munich, Germany. He gave the Nazi salute on a WWE taping to draw some heat, and boy, did he draw some heat.
Oh, a lot more than Sunday Night ever had to offer. That's for sure. Yeah, you know what? I totally screwed up. I glanced over this story earlier today when I was doing all my research, and I totally forgot because I saw something that on this day, I think it was on ProWrestlingIllustrated.com or something. It was talking about on this day in history, the WWE had issued an apology on behalf of JBL, and my ADHD brain went, hey, let's look at that bug. And I totally forgot. So thanks for bringing that one up.
Amy says, big yikes.
Big yikes indeed.
Big yikes. Any more? Yeah. There's no more bigger yikes than that one, except for the plane ride from hell.
Yeah. And I tell you, man, if that had been something, he done something like that nowadays, you could forget about it. JBL they would have yanked his Hall of Fame. They would have erased everything on Peacock that involved JBL. So lesson learned there, kids. Don't
be stupid.
Don't make Nazi gestures ever. Just don't. Okay?
Yeah.
You'll be just fine if you steer clear of the Nazis. Damn dirty Nazis.
So what didn't I hit on that you have there, Professor Torrance?
Well. It just so happens that on this day in 1983, Bruiser Brody, one of my all-time favorites from way, way back when, I unfortunately was pretty much too young to remember seeing him wrestle before he was murdered, but I love that guy. Bruiser Brody was great. And that's the one man that Mick Foley said he regrets the most that he never got to have a match with as Cactus Jack. Can you imagine Bruiser Brody versus Cactus Jack? Right.
Easy. You've already fallen asleep.
Simmer down now. Samadonna. So yes, Bruiser Brody on this day in 1983 fought Giant Baba for the PWF Heavyweight Championship in Tokyo, Japan. And you mentioned a little Girth Day action earlier. Well, there's one you missed there, buddy.
Oh, who did I miss? Who did I leave out?
On this day, June 8th, someone is turning 60. Mr. Yo, Tatanka.
Oh, man.
Years old. Happy Girth Day, Tatanka.
So,
my favorite, real quick, I just got to throw it out. My favorite Tatanka moment ever was actually in the film Natural Born Killers when Rodney Dangerfield, as Mallory's abusive, horrible father, is yelling at the TV. And you see Tatanka in action. I'm not going to repeat what he said because it's not very nice, even for this show. So, yeah, if you're a Natural Born Killers fan, you know what I'm saying. Otherwise, YouTube it, kids.
Well, I'm going to tell you something now that you probably don't know about me, and it might end our friendship. Never seen it.
Never seen Natural Born Killers. I thought it was something when you told me you had never seen Star Wars. I can understand. All right. You don't like Star Wars. Fine. I'll give you that. But Natural Born Killers, yeah, I mean, your production company is called Hell Entertainment 666, is it not? This movie is just like nothing but murder and greatness.
That's just the URL on the YouTube. It's actually just hellentertainment.com, but that was taken at one point, so I had to improvise and design it.
Oh, you're killing me, Smalls. You're killing me. Well, I have like 3 copies of it on director's cut DVD, so
I think I actually own it too, and I only have.
Oh my God! Really, dude? Make it even worse. You own it? You probably owned it for years, right? You just I bought this like Christmas tree for $1, and I'm gonna go put this in my cabinet now. You don't know what you're missing, man. One of the best flicks ever. Best flicks ever.
I'm surprised Amy's not yelling at me right now.
As she should be, because I'm willing to bet she has more common sense than this.
Oh,
and I've never even met her, so there you go.
She's way smarter than me.
Well, most chicks are a lot smarter than all of us. So
this is facts. She said, "I'll put it up." She's disappointed.
Right? Thank you, Amy. Thank you very much. I'm actually, you know what? I got to say, I'm a little disappointed myself.
What can I say?
You've been my Dudley brother since friggin' I was a freshman in high school, and I never got around to showing it to you. So part of the blame should be directed at me.
It took a lot out of me to come out and admit that live on air. So, the first step is admitting that you haven't seen it.
It's true. So welcome to the group, Dave. Thank you for sharing. Would anyone else like to disappoint me this evening?
I've also never seen Clockwork Gray or Clockwork Orange.
Oh, dear Lord, you did not call it. Well, all right, we have to get off this topic before I quit the show altogether. I thought Natural Born Killers is bad. You haven't seen a Clockwork Orange. I'm challenging you to a steel cage match right now.
Let's go. Damn, I dropped my pen.
You don't even know about the Droogies. The Droogies. Love me, Droogs. Love me, Droogs. I'll smash your bloody face then.
Guy says he's never seen the Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Oh my God, are we gonna have to do a whole movie podcast now? What is wrong with you people? Thank you, Amy. Thank you, Amy.
I already said it.
All right. Love you already, Amy. Yep. Think somebody out there gets it. Good God.
I'll drive to your house and pick you up here and keep giving me sass.
Before I have a stroke, we have to get off this topic. Yeah, you mentioned one other movie I love that you haven't seen, and you pronounce it wrong.
I've seen Mighty Ducks.
I like that movie. Emilio Estevez is great. Yes, I'll give you that.
Anyway, just because I did the history for yesterday, I'm going to run through it real fast because there's only a few notes I got.
Roger.
June 7th, 2017, NXT crashes Monday Night Raw. So that's when NXT made their infamous Raw crashing debut.
Was that when Owens challenged Cena for?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh man, what a great night that was. Oh hell yeah! Right on. Good dig there, Diggz.
2003 was the only UK pay-per-view. Triple H fought Big Daddy Cool, Kevin Nash in a street fight. Triple H won to retain the WWF Championship.
Now, do you mean this is the only pay-per-view that was done in England and we got to see it here in the States? Oh, okay.
Yep.
Because I know the one that they did that then followed the plane ride from hell, that show that they did in London right before that. It eventually was, I guess it was shown on pay-per-view in England and in Europe, but we didn't get to see it here because this was whatever, 9 or whatever the hell year it was. But then they ended up releasing it to the United States audience shortly thereafter on VHS. I believe it was.
The good old VHS tape.
Right? Oh, dude, I just found my VCR the other day. I'm so excited.
You find that tape yet?
No, the hunt continues.
Oh, damn it.
The search continues.
Well, we'll have to keep searching for that tape. We will not mention much on that tape because, it has to be seen to be believed. Yes,
anyone out there, you probably don't know what the hell we're talking about. We didn't actually say it, but yes, we do have a backyard wrestling tape that I need to dig up. I don't know if it's somewhere lost in the corners of my, underground layer here, or if it's in my parents' basement. Yeah. So.
All right.
The switch continues. But it's out there, and it's something to behold.
2006 on June 7th was the first WWE versus ECW in the Nutter Center in Ohio.
Yeah, dude. That was when Jeff Hardy fought RVD, I believe. And yes, Too Cold Scorpio, who was then Flash Funk in WWF, fought Sabu. And oh, dude, that's one of those nights I can still clearly pick up through the fog of bong resin and malted hops. I remember, I'll never forget watching that one live and just being like, yes, it's happening. Oh,
And then the last one I have, unfortunately, is a sad note. In 2006 is when we lost Earthquake.
Rest in power, Earthquake. You mighty man, you.
The tag team partner of the other Rest in Power, Dino Bravo.
And Typhoon. We shall not forget as well. That was a whole lot of girth right there.
Which Typhoon will come up later on, but as a different character. A few different characters.
You know what though? I remember for the longest time, oh man, I hated Earthquake so bad when I was a kid. And it was all because of him stomping on Damien, dude. Oh, I was convinced that he really killed Damien. I remember like crying in my TV watching Superstars, like, no, how will Jake the Snake continue? He killed Damien. So, yeah, Earthquake and we got a history there.
I really didn't like him when they were doing the push-up contest in the ring with the Warrior, Ultimate Warrior, Dino Bravo. Earthquake came in and like squashed him.
Do you know that all stemmed from they ripped off, I believe, I don't know if it was the NWA at the time, but they talked about this in the Ultimate Warriors. Oh, no, I'm sorry. No, it wasn't that. It was something else. I watched this random video, scratch that. But they had a thing in NWA around that time. I'm not mistaken, it was NWA, WCW, whatever it was, where Road Warrior and Hawk had to do like a bench press contest against some other tag team at the time. I can't remember. So Vince saw that and was just like, "Oh yeah, let's do that." Oh, Josh Snare over here. Well, welcome aboard, Joshua.
We got our 5 loyal listeners.
Woohoo! We're climbing to the top, Daddy.
So that is my news for June 7th. I figure we just might as well do it because
June 8th.
Doing it.
June 8th.
No, I did 7th and the 8th.
Oh yes, because I'm sorry.
Drink some more beer.
Confuse me some more, please.
What other movies haven't I seen that you like? Let's go down that road.
All right. Do you really want to go down that road?
SmackDown, let's go.
SmackDown breakdown for June 5th of 2021. Dun, dun, dun. Last Friday, things got underway with the WWE Universal Champion Roman Reigns ordering his cousins, Jimmy and Jey Uso, to bring him the SmackDown Tag Team titles. So that led to the show beginning with the Usos challenging the current Tag Team champs, Rey and Dominic Mysterio, for the belts. And much to the dismay of the big dog, even though the ref called 3 and Jimmy's shoulder was clearly off the mat, but nevertheless, that caused Reigns to rage after the Usos lost, and he commanded that his cousins do whatever they had to in order to get another shot at the belts later in the evening. After Reigns gave the Usos a severe tongue lashing, Seth Rollins blew off Kayla Braxton as she tried to interview him about Cesaro. Like, she was like, "Oh, what if Cesaro?" And he was like, "I don't owe you and the fans anything," and just walked away. It was hilarious. Seth Rollins is getting back to that point where I really, really liked him a couple years ago when he was a heel. So keep it up, Seth. I'm digging it. Let's see. Oh, yes. And then Chad Gable tried to offer his managerial services to the Street Profits. That offer was physically declined, by the way. And as SmackDown wore on, Carmella defeated Liv Morgan via submission. Bianca Belair challenged the now nonstop laughing Bayley. For all of you out there who did watch SmackDown this past Friday, Bayley just looks at the camera and laughs like she's the female Joker or something. I don't know if that's part of the potential storyline. She's supposed to be going insane or something. I don't know. I guess I'll take it. I mean, as you'll hear in one of our next segments, they've done a lot worse. Give it time. Oh, yes, sir. So let's see. Yes, Bianca Belair did challenge Bayley to a championship SmackDown Women's Championship match at the upcoming Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, which I'm still confused why that's happening in June. Always happened in October. I don't know. Once again, it's Vince's dementia, I swear. Let's see here. Yeah. The official calling call of Off the Rope Tuesdays. Oh. All right. So where were we here? Yes, the Street Profits were back on screen, and as they attempted to talk Otis out of Chad Gable's Alpha Academy, and then they were proceeded to take a beating from Otis for their opinions. This was just like, I don't know what's going on here. I don't care. They got the shit beat out of them. What to do? And so here's that wonderful part of the show where WWE's stocks start to it doesn't get good from here, folks. Let's see here. Yes, the SmackDown stocks continued to. Oh, wait, no. I almost forgot. I'm sorry. This is how it really started going downhill. The festering bowl of dog shit that is the King Corbin and Shinsuke Nakamura feud over the Royal Burger King crown. That's really what this feud is about. They're fighting over Corbin's fucking Burger King crown. He's not a real Burger King crown, but it might as well be because no one cares. This is so dumb. Just, yeah.
Why?
Great case of great talent in Nakamura. I know you're not a fan. I always love Nakamura, and
I mean, I'm not a fan of him, but I respect his talent for what he can do, and for not being used like we've seen numerous times is complete and utter horseshit. So yes, I'm not a fan of his, but I respect the talent and what he brings into the squared circle.
Yeah, and that talent is being completely thrown down the shitter. I really thought that a couple years back when Nakamura won the Men's Royal Rumble and Asuka won the Women's Royal Rumble, like maybe we were starting to finally turn the tide here. And Vince is like, all right, these Japanese performers deserve to be on television, deserve to be in the main events because they're fucking awesome. But
Vince being Vince.
He got two of the best in Nakamura and Asuka and
hasn't done shit.
Asuka's run in NXT when she was still undefeated was awesome. That was one of the greatest things I've seen in the last decade, in my opinion. But then, yeah, they've completely wasted her ever since. Boy, it's getting old there, Vince. It's really getting old. But yeah, like it even matters. Corbin picked up another win over Nakamura. And then the guy who plays guitar somehow caused Nakamura to get the Burger King crown back. I don't fucking know. It's so dumb. So dumb. It's so bad. I think I'd rather watch more Cody and QT Marshall than this bullshit. That's how bad it is.
I owe you a case of beer for watching all this fucking smoke.
Thank you. Because it's not easy. Not easy.
I mean, I get it. You get 4 hours of wrestling, but at least 2 of your hours is entertaining. Where my 3 hours is like I want to pull my fucking nails out with fucking player pot with a pliers.
Hey, we'll call it even, split it down in the middle. We'll get a 30 rack and we'll go to town. So.
15 minutes, we gotta go.
Yes. So as I was saying, oh boy. Now, as those
really
stocks are already now they completely crashed. Boom! Stock market's done. It's the Great Depression in the world of WWE.
Stocks are done.
All over again, yes. SmackDown stocks went down in a nosedive and plummeted towards Earth even further from there as another golden opportunity to showcase the incredible talents of Apollo Crews and my main man, KO, Kevin Owens, was completely squashed from the get-go when earlier in the night, Owens was jumped and injured by Apollo's big galoot minion, Commander Aziz. So therefore, Owens was already screwed and was already at a big disadvantage for his Intercontinental Championship match against Crews later in the show. This was a complete waste of a match, as to no one's surprise, Apollo dominated the bout and retained the IC belt because Kevin was hurt. And then Sami Zayn came out afterwards and attacked Owens, which is apparently a sign that, oh, yeah, their feud isn't over, which is cool to me if they just do it right. But as I've said a million times on this show before, Vince, please begging you, for the
Mhm.
love of Satan, just let these guys do what they can do, what we all know they can do. Just let them have a real match. No chance. I'm turning into Vince myself right now. God, I'm so angry. So yeah, that's my 2 cents on that whole big mouthful of shit. And that only leaves us with the cherry on top of the coup de grace, the main event for this past Friday night SmackDown. And as I'm sure you already figured out by now, it was a rematch for the evening's curtain jerker, as the Usos once again challenged the Mysterios for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. And once again, they lost, this time by disqualification, when an infuriated Roman Reigns hit the ring and destroyed the Mysterios himself with a guillotine choke and a power bomb on poor little young Dominic, as apparently he had seen enough. This obviously just adds a whole lot of heat to Reigns, as his domineering hold over the Usos continues. And that, boils and ghouls, is your SmackDown breakdown for June 5th, 2021. SmackDown breakdown. It's fun to say. SmackDown breakdown.
And the SmackDown
breakdown.
plummeted.
Yeah.
Maybe next week the stock will go up a little bit. Probably not.
That's the most frustrating part. I'll end this on this note. It's just they have the talent, and every once in a while they show moments of greatness. And it seems like every time their ratings go up, it's because Paul Heyman is writing the fucking storylines, and then Vince turns around and goes, "Oh, no, we can't have that," and then everything goes back in the shitter. Just let Paul Lee write everything. Everything will be fine.
They need to let Paul Lee write Raw as well.
Mm-hmm.
I'm shaking my notebook furiously.
Right? Shake harder, boy. But no, it's like years ago, it's a proven fact that when Heyman was in charge of SmackDown, the ratings were kicking Raw's ass. And as soon as Vince saw that, he was like, and that was the end of Paul Heyman being in charge of SmackDown then. So,
well, SmackDown was never meant to take over Raw. It was just meant for an extra episode for us to watch the superstars on.
If WrestleMania is Vince's baby, then Raw was his,
right underneath it.
Child, and then SmackDown was like the dog or something. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So does that make Sunday Night Heat?
Sunday Night Heat. That was the pre-taped show before Raw when you went to Raw Live.
Yeah, back when MTV actually showed something worth watching.
Besides the Jersey Shore people.
Oh no, now it's I don't know why they call it MTV. Just call it the Ridiculousness Network, because that show is on 24 fucking hours a day. And then they take a break to show, like I'm 16 and pregnant, or I don't know what.
Well, if you want your music news, you want to check out the new MTV, you can check out me and Ashley on Cinder Sundays. This Sunday, we do have Kiss and Candace coming on our show. Quick little shameless plug there. And that's enough about that.
Hey, that's a real music show right there, buddy.
Hashtag new MTV. And we may be getting some sound effects soon. I've been talking with someone on the side here. Going to get a sound effects machine to play some sound effects in our show.
Oh, yeah, dude. That's what I'm talking about. We're going to be like Police Academy style. Moving on.
We're going to get that hooked up and get her on board as part of our production team to help do some wrestling shows.
Stepping up the game, buddy. I like it.
So
we're moving on to greener pastures.
Be ready.
Oh, yeah. It's coming.
All right. So we have your Raw report for June 8th, 2021.
Already, before you even say anything, all I can hear is the music when you lose and Price is Right. Bam, bam, ba-dam, bam. That should be the jingle for the Raw report.
I'll make a little video for that.
Actual retail price of Monday Night Raw, negative $200.
The stocks have gone down in SmackDown.
Oh, don't get me started on Bob Barker now. Love that, man.
Yes, sir. Our price is wrong.
Now you're going to get it, Bobby.
Take this. Anyway.
Yes.
Speaking of taking this and that, Raw started off with a tag team battle royale.
Ooh.
So it started the concept was good. They had all the tag teams from Raw that were official tag teams with official paperwork, whatever. I don't know what the fuck.
Do they need permission slips now? What is
apparently like they have to be like registered as a tag team now within WWE to perform as a tag team. I don't know what. I don't know.
Let's not even scratch that surface.
Yeah. So they got all the New Day, the Viking Raiders, Miz and his gay partner, but Miz is in a wheelchair, so he can't fight. So all the teams get in the ring, and then we got AJ and Omos at the top of the stair. Fucking the ramp. Thank you, the ramp. Thank you for saying that. I appreciate that.
That's why I'm here. That's why
AJ at the top of the ramp, just giving compliments to all the teams in the ring, and this is kind of goes back to where I was saying Vince has got this PG bullshit needs to stop. AJ was giving compliments to every team in the ring. Like, hey, you're good. Hey, you're that. Like, no. Shut the fuck up, call him out, and fight.
Kind of like the Celtics did. Oh, sorry, I knocked you over. Can I help you? Opposite opposing team member.
Yeah, basically. But it was so once all that jibber jabber stopped, the battle royal was cool because it wasn't just this is the one highlight of Raw that I liked. Typical battle royal, one person goes over the top rope, they're eliminated. So you would figure in a tag team battle royal, which I've seen in years past, I just don't know what timeline it was. You could probably correct me if I'm wrong. Was tag team battle royals. One person goes over the top rope. The whole team is eliminated. This one was one person goes over the top rope and the other person gets to stay and still fight.
Yeah, see, I like that better.
So do I. Because this was to determine who was going to fight AJ and Omos at Hell in the Cell for the tag team contender.
I know I've seen this setup for a battle royal before. I can't place it in my mind, but yeah, it makes way more sense if you're going to do a tag team battle royal. Like, so it's like one member of the team actually gets tossed over, so the other dude didn't. He's like, "Well, I guess that's it for me." Boop, doop, just walks away. Yeah, this is a much better format.
At the end, the Viking Raiders did take the W out of this tag team battle royal, so they will be fighting AJ and Omos at Hell in a Cell.
I do like the Viking Raiders, so hopefully, I'm just gonna stop saying hopefully they'll do something good with them because forget it.
They're not gonna do anything with anybody. Come on,
except for Roman Reigns and the Usos right now. That storyline is pretty.
I do like that storyline. Like I said, I'm a big Roman. Amy, I know you're a Roman Reigns fan.
That's probably their top story working right now.
Right, I've always been a Roman fan. But that's besides the point. That's on SmackDown. SmackDown stocks going down. For the Raw report, then we saw Jackson Ryker facing Elias. Elias last week on Raw left the tag team match and left Jackson Ryker to fend for himself, and thus causing the team to break up.
Hell yeah, Elias. My kind of team player.
Fucking leaving. Well, he left the ring again this week. He left the ring this week again and said, "No, I am done fighting." Jackson Ryker took the W via a count out.
Well,
who takes the wins of a count out nowadays?
Sounds spine tingling already. I'll have to go back and check the old DVR.
Then we saw Ricochet versus Humberto Carrillo.
I wish it was Alberto Del Rio,
right?
So he could slap people at catering.
They wrestled to a no contest, a double count out, if you can believe that. Oh, we're getting spicy on Raw, double count out.
Kicking it up a notch.
We saw the return of Jeff Hardy in the next match. I know you mentioned Matt Hardy on AEW earlier. Jeff Hardy fought Cedric Alexander and took the W with a pinfall with a swanton bomb off the top rope. I remember last time we saw them live, we both lost our hearing because my douchebag ex screamed so loud. And we both wanted to slap her in the face.
Oh, that was the trip, man. Was that?
That was No Way Out.
Yeah, 2001. Cactus and Triple H in the cell.
That's what we also got. more people yelling at us because Shane O'Mac hit the Rock with a chair in the Big Show match.
Was that the night that you, I, and Mr. Kevin Ewing all rocked the Rocky Sucks shirts? Yes.
That Kevin and I made at the store.
Yeah, that was actually the only pay-per-view. If I'm not mistaken, wasn't Benoit on that card? I think that was the only time I ever saw Chris Benoit live in person.
I believe he was.
Yeah, he fought Angle, I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that was quite a time. Not to mention Kevin and I trying to smoke a bowl in some like crack alley that we found downtown in New Haven, Connecticut before the show. So yeah, that was a hell of a time, man.
Good times.
All I can remember though, specifically every time I think of that match more than anything, well, of course it's poor Cactus crying as he's walking away supposedly for good at the end. But remember when Cactus gets backdropped through the cell and comes down and his leg goes through the chair and he breaks the ring and everything, and Triple H is selling it perfectly. He's still up there like, and then they go down and they show Stephanie. She's holding the outside of the cell and she's like,
Stephanie has the best facial expression.
Oh man. Of course, nothing will ever top when Undertaker kidnapped her. Where to, Stephanie?
He turns around. He's like,
Undertaker was the limo driver. Oh, it was so good. Then they crucified her. We're getting ahead of ourselves.
Okay, let's go back to Raw. We got other shit to get to tonight too. Somewhere within this mix of the start of Raw, they did a contract signing. Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre came down to the ring. Bobby Lashley was late because he was doing something. So Drew McIntyre took the mic, started talking. Blah 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 blah.
What was he like? Posted something on Twitter, like explanation to what he was doing. He can't be bothered.
It was funny though because Drew McIntyre made reference to The Godfather.
Oh, nice, dude. Yes, Pippin ain't easy.
He said something, and it was like, Bobby Lashley's coming down with his train or something along like. But he made reference to The Godfather.
Yes, dude. It's time once again.
So they both signed the contract, and the WWE Championship will be decided inside the Hell in a Cell, which we kind of already knew was going to happen at Hell in a Cell. So yeah.
It's going to be a hot Hell in the Cell because it's happening in the end of June.
Then we saw Nikki Cross and Asuka versus Flair and Rhea Ripley.
Mm-hmm.
And Nikki Cross and Asuka took the win via a pinfall. I did not really watch that match. Did not intrigue me. I'm tired of this little feud they have with Flair, Ripley, and Cross. Like, just get it over with. Put them in a three-way match.
Well, that's what they already did at Mania. That's the problem. Like, it's already happened.
Well, let's do it again and let's move
move on. Yeah,
move on. It's done.
I actually was reading an article that randomly popped up on Facebook or something today. I want to say from a legit, like, not just some fan or some shit, a legit wrestling critic source or whatever, just basically saying how the WWE's women's division right now is garbage. And it's not the women's fault. It's just...
No, because they went to Mania and the division was awesome at Mania.
Yeah.
And we've talked about that numerous times. Like, Sasha Banks held that main event card. And since Mania, the division has gone meh.
Yeah. And it's not anything against the very talented women that they have on their roster. It's simply...
No, it's to the writers. It's to the writers.
Stop giving them shit storylines that we don't care about. Like,
I mean, what? We wasted 3 weeks on Raw with Nia Jax falling down and people making fun of her.
Yeah.
Shit.
Right? And then there was that whole thing where, like, that they just did and then it just disappeared, where Ric Flair had turned on his own daughter. You remember that?
Yeah.
It was like, okay, and then you do all that and it completely pans out and you just make Charlotte a heel again.
I don't know. It's just,
yeah.
Let's move on from it.
Mm-hmm. I wish they would too.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, they should move on from it, not us move up.
Yeah,
they should really move the fuck on from it.
This is, how many times does this still correlate to our original point? Evidently, our main theme of the show now is like, you got the talent, just use them. Use them right.
We're gonna use them. We're gonna change the name of the podcast and just use them Tuesdays.
Yeah, dear Vince, wake the fuck up. That's what we should call the show.
Then we saw Mansoor versus Drew Gulak. Mansoor took the pinfall.
Mansoor?
Yeah.
His name is Mansoor?
Yeah,
Like,
Mansoor. I don't know.
oh my dear Lord Satan.
The next match was a good one. Kofi Kingston versus Riddle. That was a good match. I'm actually coming to start to be a Riddle fan.
You know what? I actually did see a little bit of that. I'm sorry. I'm stuck on Mansoor. Like, really? He has sore in his name? Like,
Yeah.
does he what's his finishing move? Herpes or something? Like
the finisher that keeps on finishing.
He gives you an STD. That's his finisher. And here he comes with the dreaded STD. Thank you, Amy Young. Yes, what a terrible name. Exactly. We're surfing on the same wave there, my dear.
Oh, then we saw Kofi and Riddle. Like I said, I'm becoming more and more of a Riddle fan. He's got some pretty decent talent underneath him, even though he wrestles barefoot and bike shorts. But other than that, I'm becoming a Riddle fan. I like the RK Bro storyline with that, as they lost in the Battle Royal, but I think that can be a good line moving forward. Kofi did take the win via pinfall against Riddle at Raw. And then I guess this is the main event of Raw. Baszler was a guest on Alexa's Playground, and Lily, like, no, I'm not talking to you, Alexa. Shut up.
I always wonder that because I don't have an Alexa. Like, if I was watching Raw and say Michael Cole says Alexa Bliss, and just
it comes on.
Yeah. The more
Lily,
you know.
And Lily chased Baszler out, and that ended Raw. That was the end of Raw.
Basil?
I would rather have seen Kofi versus Riddle or use a tag team battle royal as the main event.
Yeah, as I was, just kind of glancing in and out last night, the one part I did pay attention the most was the Riddle and Kofi match. Well, that should have been the main event.
Oh, yeah.
But bad booking again. Bad booking.
Right, exactly.
Bad storylines, bad booking.
Let them use their talent, Vince. Come on.
It's easy peasy, man. You already paid for it. It's sitting right there, and you're not taking advantage of it whatsoever. It's like buying a brand new fridge and never plugging it in.
Or putting beer in it.
Oh.
See? Anyway, now that the Raw report, the AEW Dynamite deposition, and the SmackDown stocks are done, it's time
all down. Pretty much.
Time to get into the dessert of the show, if we will.
Mm-hmm.
Bum, bum, bum.
Meat and potatoes time.
The worst gimmicks and bizarre storylines that you could imagine. Drop those in the comments. What are yours? Boy, do we have a list. And I mean, right there off the top, fucking Bastion Booger.
Look at them boobies.
Bastion Boobies.
That should have been his name. Bastion Boobies, dude.
Right?
That's what we should have been. We need a time machine. We can go back and become storyline writers and
Vince,
make wrestling the way it should have been. Right?
Vince, we'll bring you back from the dead and bring your company back. Just hire us storyline writers.
First thing I would have changed was Macho Man would have won the title or kept the title at WrestleMania 5. Take that, Hulkster. Ooh, yeah.
So who would have won the title at WrestleMania 4 then?
Macho Man would have won it, and he would have retained at WrestleMania 5.
And then would he have lost to the Warrior at WrestleMania 6?
Hell no.
He
would have been WWF champion for life because I love the Macho Man. End of story.
What about WrestleMania 12 with Shawn Michaels and the Boyhood Dream?
I love everyone else too, but there was lifetime heavyweight champion, in my opinion.
No, I disagree. No.
You know who was the ECW World Heavyweight Champion for life?
Taz.
My favorite wrestler, gun to the head, greatest of all time, the man that I wish would adopt me as his grandson.
Oh, Tommy Dreamer.
No. That would be cool, I guess. Well, he's not old enough to be my grandpa. Terry Funk.
Oh, yeah.
The Funker, man. He was presented with the lifetime
I didn't know that.
ECW Heavyweight Championship. Watch Beyond the Mat. You'll see.
I have. But it's been a while.
Well, then you obviously weren't paying attention.
At least I've seen it.
Yeah, thank God you fucking seen that one. Jeez, dude.
I'll fight you.
It's on like Donkey Kong, sucker.
Bring it. Let's go.
I'm going to give you some Clark Orange. Just tell you that much.
Give you a double drop.
Me and the Droogs, then. So
All right.
we have two little
We have
themes
two
here.
topic issues tonight.
So what would you like to kick her off with there, guy?
Let's go with let's kick off with the worst gimmicks.
Can dig it, Daddy.
I got a small list here, but I got a little list in my head. One I know is going to piss some people off, but hey, that's what I'm here for.
Yipper. I can, it's funny. That's actually how I started my notes off with the worst gimmicks. So,
all right.
Yes.
We're going to go one for one on this and keep it going?
Yeah, fuck it. If you have one on my list or whatever, we'll just keep it working.
Well, I'm gonna rip it right off. I'm gonna rip the Band-Aid off right here. It's Mr. America.
Hulkster was on my list. Yeah, that was garbage, dude.
Mr. America. Like, that was right when Hulkster was on his. Like, no.
Well, I think he already had been at that rate for a bit, but it's
his stocks were crashing hard.
Yeah, I wasn't watching wrestling at all back then. I had to find out about this years later, and I mean, when they did that whole thing on SmackDown where he like takes off the mask or whatever, and he's like, "Shh," it's like we didn't know it was you, really,
right?
Yeah, I don't know what from what I understand, Hogan came up with that whole gimmick on his own.
I believe he did.
Yeah,
but he shouldn't be allowed to write his own storyline.
No, he should just be up there forgetting which arena he's in. Dude, don't go ahead of us. The Yeti's on my list, Guy Manley. Yes, I will bring him up, but no spoilers. No spoilers.
Wait. Pops, is this a real question or are you just being sarcastic?
No, Pops, dude. Mr. America was Hulk Hogan on SmackDown. Yes, look it up.
1000%.
It's bad. It's really bad. When he actually takes his mask off, this is how they ended an episode of SmackDown, and Hulkster goes, shh. It's like, the fuck was that? Yep. So, way to kick it off right. That was one on my list as well, buddy. So,
all right.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Top of my one. This is one I obviously tried to erase from the memory banks. Rosie this was his name, Rosie the S.H.I.T, which was SHIT shit for superhero in training. Rosie, who was the cousin, I believe, of Umaga, they made him into this stupid, I don't even know what you call it, but yeah, his name was basically Rosie the shit because his gimmick was shit. They already knew it, and they still went ahead with it anyway. So, Rosie the shit, folks.
Oh,
can't write this, I'm telling you. Well, evidently WWE could, but
it was a good thought at the time.
Rosie the shit. And it's not like he was the shit, like, the hip kids say on the street now. No, it was just Rosie the shit. Like, we pooped this out and didn't flush, and here's your new gimmick, folks.
Oh, speaking of shit, we mentioned at the top of the segment here of Bastion Booger.
Oh, yeah. You got to put Bastion on the list.
Remember at SummerSlam, I don't remember what year it was, but they were outside having like a beach party.
Oh, wasn't like sunny there? This is like 96 or something? Yeah.
All the girls were out there in their skimpy bikinis. And
everything looked awkward. I think you had like Davy Boy, British Boy, like bouncing around.
Volleyball, Todd Pettengill was there.
What?
But speaking of shit, remember there was a Baby Ruth in the pool that they played it off as shit and picked it up and ate it?
They totally did the Caddyshack. Yes. That's right. Oh my God. I forgot all about that, dude. The Duty. Spalding, no!
Oh my God, he's eating it.
Duty! It's no big deal.
So, yes, Bastion was the next on my list.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had Bastion for sure. Oh, Bastion was just like...
Shouldn't have been brought in.
At all. It was just hard to look at. Even as a kid, I was like... Ugh. And I'm
not good to look at either, but I'm
right. And it's it's impossible for me to find anything attractive in a man. Sorry, no offense to anyone out there. I only play one side of the field. To each their own. No problem with that. But looking at this guy was just like I felt disgusted. Like ew.
Yeah.
Put a shirt on her. So, and he had that awful like gray, wrestling trunk Speedo thing. Yeah. God, no.
Well, he's right there in the background. He's right next to the Red Rooster.
There's the bug, dude. There's the bug. Well, he had a great smile. The smile is back.
Yeah, he looked like he'd be from Maine with all them teeth.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, we both no doubt had to have the old
that bastard booger on there.
The old bug on the list. Next up for me was Waylon Mercy.
I forgot all about him.
Waylon Mercy was trash. This was in that time when WWF was really struggling financially and what forth. And all I remember, he was another one. I just couldn't stand the way he looked. Like, it wasn't even his gimmick. Just, I hated looking at his stupid face. And he had the little knife tattooed on his forehead. And yeah, Waylon Mercy. Ugh, gross. It's amazing to think that how many of these actually got approved by creative. Like, that sounds like gold. Yeah, this is gonna work. Waylon Mercy. Gag me.
Pops, I'm going there next. Repo Man.
I was gonna put Repo on my list, and I guess he deserves to be on the list, but
AKA Smash from Demolition.
There was some Repo. I don't know. There's some about Repo. I could never put my finger on it, but I kind of dug the Repo.
I did not dig the Repo Man. I thought his character was pointless. I mean,
it was garbage, but some about it's like a childhood nostalgia thing for me. I think. I don't know, but yeah, the gimmick was god awful. Like, what was he gonna do? Like, repossess your fucking car or your belt?
I mean, that would have been kind of a cool play. Like, hey, you haven't paid your WWE dues, so I'm going to repo your belt.
That actually, I guess, yeah, you're right. That would have been more interesting than what they actually did with him. So, but yes, the list continues. Feel free to let us know what people you think we missed when we're done. No more spoilers. We appreciate the input. We got to keep it flowing here. So I'm going to keep it up. Now, I'm willing to bet this following one is not on your list.
Let's see.
Because this is one that I know most people have definitely tried to bury in the memory banks. Fantasio.
Nope, I do not have Phantasmo on my desk.
Do you know who I'm talking about? Fantasio?
I only know because I saw him earlier when I was researching.
He only had one night in the WWF. That's how bad his gimmick was. He came out. He was supposed to be a half mime and half magician.
Okay.
Yeah, everyone loves mimes and magicians in wrestling, especially. Nothing gets the girls more excited than mimes and magicians. Yeah.
Wait, you like mimes and magicians?
I still remember this, watching this and being like, when it was actually happening live and being like, what is that? Ugh. Back then, when the company was floundering, they went through all kinds of grossness. So, yeah, Fantasio. Look him up, kids. You will definitely be disappointed.
I got a few more here. I'm going to go with this one here. He feuded with the Big Boss Man when he first came in. Kind of his only really feud when he was in the WWF. Nails.
Yeah, I had Nails as well. Nails was one of those, we don't care. Move on. He was like the convicted murderer or some shit. I don't know.
But I think, didn't they play it where it was like Big Boss Man put him in jail?
Yeah, Cobb County.
Cobb County, and that's why he came out. And that was his only real feud, was to fight Boss Man. All I can remember is when Nails would hit him, as he was like big wads of spit.
Ugh. Yeah, no, gross. So evidently Vince agreed, because that was the end of Nails. He went back to his holding cell in Cobb County, Georgia. The next on my list, definitely without question, is Disco Inferno.
Yes.
Ugh, woof. Arr, gross. Horrible gimmick. Never cared. He was actually the WCW television champion at one point. Shows you how wise they were. Let's put the belt on Disco Duck. That's what they should have called him. So there's Disco.
This one could have been spun in a positive way with WWF had they played it right, but the Boogeyman.
Yeah. Thank you. That you literally, like Meatloaf, you took the words right out of my mouth, because that's just what I was going to say about Boogeyman. Boogeyman could have been like a Papa Shango kind of deal for what it was back then. And I know I'm doing my research. A lot of people put Papa Shango up as
that too. Papa
one of
Shango.
the worst gimmicks. I loved Papa Shango. I don't care. When I was a kid, I used to love playing him in WWF Royal Rumble on Sega.
Yeah.
But yeah, with Boogeyman, the idea was cool, but I don't know. Yeah.
Had they spun in a different direction, it could have worked. He could have feuded with someone like the Undertaker or like Gangrel with the Brood, someone more on that dark side. But he was more just in for a short stint, and that was it. It was really, they built the hype up that he was going to be this big superstar coming in with all his promo videos, and
yeah, it was one of those. I think in creative, they thought it sounded great at the time, and then when they actually saw it, they were like, "Okay, we're just gonna have him eat some herbs for a little bit, and then bye bye."
Yep,
that's how that works in the wrestling business. Now, this list would not be complete, in my opinion, anyways, if we did not mention the one, the only Duke the Dumpster Droese.
Guy Manley.
Thank you, Guy Manley. Right on cue, Guy. Yes, they actually, for all you younglings out there, don't remember this or too young to know this, the infinite wisdom that is Vince McMahon's, he created a character that was a garbage man. That was it. He was a garbage man. The only thing I can compare this to was a few years later when he made Man Mountain Rock. Big fucking goon that would come out wearing a tie-dye shirt and play guitar before his matches. But yet, as we're seeing from the Nakamura and Corbin feud, apparently Vince loves having guys come out and play guitar for no fucking reason.
Right,
it's still happening to this day. But yeah, Duke the Dumpster, buddy.
So I got 3 more on my list, and we're gonna go with Kamala.
Kamala.
Yeah, I was not doing the research and remembering from my childhood, because I am in my old age and my amnesia age.
You dino.
Kamala, it was just managed by Harvey Whippleman.
Yes, he was.
Just didn't fit to me within the storyline.
Well, this was kind of in a way, I didn't notice obviously as a kid, but now you see it all these years later. It's like with Akeem, the African Dream gimmick. He's supposedly from Africa. You couldn't come up with an actual African wrestler, or you just had a big fat white guy. What?
Right.
And then, I mean, not to say that there aren't white people from Africa, but yeah, no, this is another one of those, like, dude, it's
why bother? Why?
And it's kind of racist, just like not a good look.
Well, let's not forget too, Akeem the American African Dream, whatever his name was also a one-man gang the WrestleMania prior to WrestleMania 5.
Yeah, which they should have kept him as
one-man gang.
One man, because the whole Kamala thing was it. You look back on it now, it's like poor taste.
I mean, the guy just walks around slapping his stomach with Harvey Whippleman directing him.
That match when with Macho Man and Hulkster, and he was with tag team with Boss Man, and they go to bounce off the ropes, and Kamala just sails right through him and hits the floor. Oh, great old botch that it was. So, yeah, the 80s had a lot of stuff we didn't notice at the time, but yet really kind of racist stuff. Kamala was definitely a racist character.
Yes.
Yeah. So not good for him there, WWF. But I got a couple more, so I'm just gonna blast off a few so we can get moving on here. I have to mention. All right, I have to mention the Goon.
Yes.
We decided one day, you know what we need on our roster? A hockey player who can't play hockey, who just wears skates to the ring. That was the Goon.
And then they make a movie out of it on Netflix. called The Goon.
Which actually wasn't a bad movie. That was Stifler from American Pie. Yeah, that movie was actually pretty decent, I will say. But The Goon, as far as WWF goes, what you got, Daddy?
This one's coming from Amy, which she texted
Oh.
on the side.
What's the lovely lady got for us here?
Santa Claus.
Oh, he was on my list as well. Yep, I was
Damn
getting
you, Amy. Damn you.
I was getting to that.
I ruined it. I read it before, but
that's all right. Hey, you know what? I should take back what I said earlier. You know what, Guy? You know what? Pops, say whatever the fuck you want. I should never have censored you. That was my fault. So say whatever you will.
So since Amy went with that one, that was on your list.
Yep, we covered that.
I want to say this one's probably going to be on your list, but I'm about 75% sure positive. The Viking himself, the Berserker.
Yes, Berserker was there. Blech.
And his only move was picking someone up on his shoulder and tossing it.
Yeah.
Tossing him over the... I always thought he would be great in the Royal Rumble just because that was his finishing move.
And
as a wrestler, he was fucking horrible.
Right, but then they totally never utilized that opportunity. And just... Was he even in a Royal Rumble? I don't even know.
I think he was. And yes, that's why you texted it to me. I get it. I said it. I ruined it. But you know what? Fuck it. Here we are.
Whatevs, Doug. Whatevs.
I got one more. We'll go for it.
All right. I'll just throw out, let's see here. You only have one. A couple of the ones I have left have already been mentioned, including, yes, Santa Claus, who was Balls Mahoney in ECW. And when I met Balls back in 99, he couldn't have been cooler. And he actually, I shot the shit with him for a good 45 minutes outside in the parking lot. And he not only told me about how he played Eddie in his college's Rocky Horror Picture Show production, which I thought it was awesome because I'm a huge Rocky Horror fan, but he went into great detail with me about being Santa Claus and how he knew right off the bat. He was like, all right, so I can make some money off this gimmick, but I will never be in WWF ever again after this gimmick because Santa Claus was, he was Santa's evil twin and he would steal toys from kids. So Balls kind of knew the writing on the wall. Balls would eventually come back into WWE after they took over ECW, but they wasted Balls. Wasted Balls. So thank you, Miss Amy, for that one. I mentioned the Goon. This was one I actually forgot about, but it needs to be mentioned. Was Paul Burchill as a complete Johnny Depp ripoff of Pirates of the Caribbean? WWE did that a few years back. And since you only have one more, let me just list off a few. I'll get it over real quick. Glacier, who was just a Mortal Kombat Sub-Zero ripoff in WCW. Yep. Remember Glacier? Yeah. Wish we could forget him. Horrible. Mortis, formerly known as Wrath, who also sucked Donkey Schlong in WCW. You did mention the Boogeyman. Here's one I really did want to bring up, and then I'll let you get to your last one, and I'll be able to wrap it up real quick after that. But Eugene. Poor taste in WWE's part, man. You basically made a character about someone who was mentally challenged. Like, no.
We talk about Kamala being a bad choice. This one's even, I think,
right?
A worse choice.
Yeah, I mean, at least you could put it. At least you could say Kamala. Not that justifying it, but it was the 80s. You know, different time. But by the time they did Eugene's character, like, you guys should have known better.
And especially where they do so much for like Make-A-Wish and Children's Hospital.
Right? Yeah, that was like, dude, not cool. Not cool at all.
That was a big.
And then I only have two more, I think. Well, Mike Awesome as the fat chick thriller / that 70s guy in WCW.
Mike Awesome theory was.
Yeah. Single H was always a huge Mike Awesome fan, and he did have great matches, especially against, oh God, his matches with Tanaka were just some of the most brutal matches you had ever seen, whether it was Japan or ECW, but I couldn't stand Mike Awesome otherwise, so there you go. And then I have two more I need to mention before we wrap this up here.
Okay, so go for it.
I got Isaac Yankem, DDS,
Yep.
original Kane character. He was a dentist. Jerry Lawler was his manager. Woof.
Before you go further,
Okay. I only have one more. So
because mine plays into that character.
okay.
I don't like the Kane gimmick.
Oh, Jerry Lawler.
I do not like Kane's gimmick from when he came in.
Oh, I thought you said King. I'm sorry.
No, Kane.
Sorry. Okay.
Because I don't like his gimmick. For one, when he came in, his face was supposed to be burned because Undertaker burned him. He couldn't talk.
Stop it.
Then half his mask comes off and he's not burnt and he can talk all of a sudden. And now he's governor.
He's a mayor, actually.
Whatever.
Mayor
Some politician.
down there in Tennessee. Yes.
But
Jacobs.
my point being is if you're watching it and you're trying to follow the storyline, like where does burnt face go?
Yeah. Well, you're right.
Why come out and have him in as Undertaker's brother and say he burned him and then his face falls off and his mask falls off and he's not burnt. The burns don't go away. And then 1 minute he's using time.
Right? When the one night he was in DX, suck it with the tracheotomy.
And now we can
Yep.
like I do not like that gimmick. They could have played it a lot better to partner with the Undertaker, partner with other things. Big fail.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Kane's coming up in our last segment of the evening, that's for sure. So yeah, there was Isaac, and then my last one to officially put the worst gimmicks to bed. Yeah, that was definitely going to be Mantar. There was a Mantar. For any of you out there who don't know about Mantar, here was Mantar. Okay, this was like 94, no, 95, probably 96, maybe before the Attitude Era started. And they were still constantly going through these horrible gimmicks. They had this guy who would come out and he basically looked like a giant egg who wore what was supposed to, I guess, be a bull costume, and he'd go moo. And as he made his way out to the ring with the bull hat on, and then he'd take the bull hat off and he'd have a completely horrible match. So yes, Mantar is definitely my number one. I forgot. I actually had yes, the Yeti, which was mentioned. Hulksters, Miss America. Oh, the Kiss Demon in WCW. Absolute garbage. Renegade, who was the Warrior ripoff in WCW. You got to mention Shockmaster because, and this list would not be complete without the Gobbledygooker.
Amy just texted me that one.
Thank you, Amy. Yes, we totally would have dropped the ball if we did not mention Gobbledygooker. Interesting story about Gobbledygooker. If you watch Undertaker's Last Ride, he said that back in the day, this was when he was getting into WWF and he didn't really have a solid gimmick made up for him yet. And when he saw this giant chicken egg that they brought out, Mean Gene's talking to the egg in front of the crowd, he was like, all right, so I guess I'm going to be a giant chicken now. That's what Undertaker actually thought he was going to be, Gobbledygooker. Thank Satan for us all. That was not the case. I thought that was hilarious. Gobbledygooker. And yes, the Yeti, which I believe Guy mentioned before. It was just Universal Studios Mummy in WCW. Ugh. So that's that. Yeah. I've had that. Oh, and we have to mention Max Moon, who they're showing right there, along with Red Rooster. Max Moon, who was actually Conan in WWF.
Oh, so many gimmicks. So many gimmicks.
So many horrible memories. Flashbacks, PTSD at its finest. This is like Vietnam.
As we wrap up this episode, Match 9, whatever you want to call it, here on Off the Rope Tuesdays. Again, thank you for all your support. Watching our fabulous 5 people out there watching. We appreciate you. Some quick
5 fans.
We have officially hit 50 downloads of this podcast on the streaming side.
Oh, well,
So,
all right.
downloading that want us listen to us. We appreciate you.
Right on. Thank you, guys. That's awesome. Very cool.
We appreciate everything. And as we wrap it up, we're going to get into a couple of the worst storylines. I know, which is always fun.
I just highlighted the best of the best, really. Yes, the most
only got a
bizarro storylines in wrestling history. Just the cream of the crop is what I'm going
I only
with.
got a few. I didn't do too much research into this. I figured we'd just ramble on about a couple of them for 45 minutes and make this show 3 hours tonight.
Yeah, no, we're giving the fans an added bonus, just like WrestleMania, folks. We're adding another night tomorrow. Because this
just like Monday Night Raw, 3.5 hours.
Yeah, right.
Which actually Raw is slated for 3.5 hours. It's 8 to 11:30.
Yeah, because they've always run over. That was Vince's trick back in the Monday Night War days. And then, of course, WCW was like, hey, fuck it. We own the network. So we're going to go like 30 minutes past what you're doing.
Amy says, oh, shit, fire. I hope your house isn't on fire. Or yeah.
Maybe it's Harlem Heat.
All right. Take it off.
Yes.
Take it off with your first storyline.
No. Yes, folks, it is the most bizarro storylines in wrestling history. Yeah, I was going to start with this one, but I think I'm going to save it for last because it just might be my money shot, in my opinion.
All right.
So, first and foremost, I'm going with the Katie Vick story. All of you out there who know that name knows exactly what I'm talking about. She supposedly was Kane's girlfriend who died in a car accident while Kane was driving the car. And then Triple H came out as, for whatever reason, Kane was in the ring like having to explain all this. I still never got that part. Triple H comes out and accuses Kane of not only murdering Katie, but engaging in necrophilia with her corpse. But there's more. The worst part came when a video segment was shown of a shirtless Triple H in a funeral home climbing into a casket with a mannequin that's supposed to be the deceased Katie while he's wearing a toy Kane mask. And then, because we can't stop there, can we? Oh, no. He proceeds to have sex with the mannequin, or pretend to have sex with the mannequin. That's when the camera went off and you hear him like, oh, Katie. I need a moment. Take this away, Dave. Please, Diggz, help me.
Amy says, no, the house is not on fire. She was talking about our download. So, yes. That's
right on, Amy.
Thank you.
Sorry, I'm stoned. I didn't catch it.
All right, so I'm going to roll with my first one here. I know you'll know this one very well. Was the Big Boss Man Al Snow feud. and in particular, the steak dinner.
This was on my list too. Yep, but please continue.
Big Boss Man was feeding the steak dinner and having a dinner with Al Snow in the hotel room, if you will. And Al Snow's eating the steak, and Boss Man's like, it's pepper. And he's like, and he's
yep, that's right. Big Boss Man fed Al Snow his
dog,
which then led to one of the most horrible matches ever: the cage inside a Hell in a Cell match with the dogs surrounding the ring between Al Snow and Big Boss Man, where the supposedly horribly vicious dogs that were gonna keep Boss Man and Al Snow on their toes only proceeded to shit, piss, and hump each other during the match. That's where that went. Also, speaking of Boss Man, don't forget that whole feud he had with the Big Show, where Big Show's dad died, and Big Boss Man took the casket up, and there was poor Big Show had to run and leap on his dad's casket. Boss Man dragged it away. Like, oh boy, yeah, that happened.
Oh, that was good.
I'm going back for my number 2. Sticking with the same man in particular, the Demon Kane.
Yep.
As he once forced Lita to marry him so he wouldn't murder Matt Hardy, which resulted in Lita becoming pregnant. Lita then has a miscarriage After, after Gene Snitsky, as ugly as he was, hit Kane with a chair, which caused Kane to fall on top of Lita, thus making her lose the baby live in the ring on national television. But it wasn't over there. Oh no, because what they do the following after Lita supposedly had a miscarriage live on national television in the ring, that wasn't enough. No, no, no. We had Snitsky walk down into the ring and take a toy baby in front of Lita and punt it into the crowd. Yeah, he pretended it was the baby that had died and punted it into the crowd.
Another good hit, WWE.
What the fuck was that, dude? Like, you guys did that? Necrophilia and then baby shit? Like, oh, why did all this happen to Kane? I kind of liked Kane. I don't know.
Right? Oh.
He seems like a good dude. Oh, man. So that's my number 2.
Oh.
Yep, Snitsky punted the baby into the audience. That happened. The miscarried baby.
Oh, so I think we should just do our 5 and then call it.
Yep, that's
5
cool.
Daddy. My number 2 is going to be the custody battle of Dominic.
Yes, I'm glad you mentioned this because I actually forgot to put this on my list.
Rest in powder, Eddie Guerrero.
Eddie, love you, buddy. Hell yeah, one of my all-time favorites. But
fighting over custody of now one half of the WWE Tag Team Champion Dominic and his father Rey Mysterio. Like what?
Like DSS is suddenly getting involved in storylines. That's how I thought. That was my first thought when I saw that. I was like, so you got Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero, 2 of the best wrestlers in the world, and this is what you're coming up with for their feud? I'm like, Eddie just freaks out and decides he's Dominic's dad one day. Like, what? So that was another one of those that happened.
Oh.
And now, yeah, isn't it wild? Now the kid's tag team champion with his dad.
That's crazy.
His actual dad.
That's kind of
cool.
wild.
Yeah, it is pretty cool. I'll give him that. Yeah. All right, I'm saving my best for last, so I'll just shoot out another quick one. I had to mention when Goldust actually used homophobia to win the Intercontinental title, as he was always kissing and trying to basically molest Razor Ramon. And of course, who could ever forget, which is, in my opinion, is perhaps the greatest moment in the history of professional wrestling, when Goldust performed mouth to mouth on an unconscious Ahmed Johnson. Yeah, open the door. Oh, that might be it for me. I think that might be the greatest of all time. Yeah.
I think so,
him choking Bob Sparkplug Holly as he was looking for Goldust, and then Mark Mero going, "You're looking for Goldust right there." Oh, genius. But yeah, Goldust, they actually used homophobia to introduce his character. They made Razor Ramon a homophobe, and Ahmed too.
Yeah.
That happened.
Oh, it happened. It's true. It's true. Oh, what do I have here? I got some shit written down.
I have 3 more little quickies, and then I have one that we really is gonna have to be the main event of the show here. I think you already know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's in the chat already. I haven't put it up just for that sake. I gotta bring it back. I gotta bring it back to the Macho Man and Elizabeth wedding party, if you will, or the wedding ceremony, with Jake the Snake Roberts and all the Cobras in the packages.
Now, what was your gripe with this? The fact that in real life, Macho Man and Elizabeth, their marriage was really falling apart, and they had to do this whole storyline.
Yeah, I just didn't like the storyline. I didn't like the feud with him and Macho Man.
I actually liked the feud with Macho Man and Jake. Of course, that gave us the infamous, Macho Man tied up in the fucking ropes and get bit by the fucking snake and everything, which is, oh God, when I was a kid watching that, I freaked out. I was like, what? But Yeah, all right. Yeah, I can see it.
That's just one, and I guess more along the lines of any kind of wedding shit happening in the wrestling world. That's
yeah.
So you got
Because
that,
it always ends the same way. A cake in the
Yeah.
face or whatever. We don't
because
care.
that could lead right into one of my last ones would be the Triple H and Stephanie
I knew that's where you were going.
what wedding ceremony through Vegas where she's passed out and he's like, "Look, we got married," and she's all drugged up and
Yeah.
like
Triple H roofied Stephanie and brought her through a drive-through wedding in Las Vegas, where he proceeded to make it look like her mouth was moving, and suddenly became legally married to a roofie comatose Stephanie. That's the storylines we did back then.
And here we are.
Rape apparently was a cool topic back in the 90s.
So let's break this down. We have rape. We have people with disabilities, homophobia, and racial issues. Good job, WWE.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah, WCW got in on that as well. So, we had, and don't forget everyone's favorite, necrophilia, because that's high on the list. I just got to throw these last three out real quick, and then we'll wrap it up with, which is definitely.
Amy says, hate when that happens.
Yeah, indeed, right?
I hate when you get drugged and then get married in a drive-through.
I gotta say, I guess I was never sexy enough. Nobody ever roofied me and wanted to take me home. No, I was just looking for the free buzz.
Only drive-through I went through was McDonald's for chicken nuggets and Big Macs.
Although when I was in Las Vegas, I actually did see those drive-through chapels.
Oh yeah, I see them too.
Right? But yeah, real quick, got to give some shout-outs to when the $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase bought Hercules Hernandez as his slave.
Now we have slavery.
Yep, slavery to the list. There was also when Vince McMahon made Trish Stratus strip and bark like a dog on her hands and knees in the ring.
So there's sexual harassment.
Get away with that one now, Vince. Yeah, I think you'd be getting a call from HR on that one. And who could ever forget when Val Venus was threatened with castration by an Asian gang with a samurai sword? The infamous line, "I choppy your pee-pee." Yeah, they were going to chop off Val Venus's dick live on Raw.
Oh.
That happened.
And that all leads to this.
Yes. Fireworks are firing off above my dome piece right now. Because this is going to be, the Katie Vick Kane story and the miscarriage. I would say they're the only ones that compare to this one.
But this one's going to go for a long time. Like, there's no trying to beat this or beat this.
Yeah. Even people like my girl who hasn't watched wrestling in a long time, she'll never forget this moment. Because it's one of those, if you were there to see it when it happened, you will never, ever, ever, unfortunately, forget it. Yeah, we're talking about when Sexual Chocolate, the world's strongest man, Mark Henry, not only started off by committing gerontophilia. This is apparently, I had to look this up. This is basically, this is basically the reverse of a child molester. This is someone who takes advantage of an elderly person for sexual gratification. That's basically what the storyline started on. Pops Ghostly, he knows what I'm talking about. Yeah, the storyline was founded on a young Mark Henry basically taking advantage of an elderly woman in Mae Young, who was 77 years young at the time. But that wasn't enough. That was enough. Vince looked at this and said, reverse child molestation, with the elderly. I can do better. And then we found out that Mae Young, at 77 years old, was pregnant by Mark Henry. Would you like to inform our studio audience as to how that pregnancy played out there, Mr. Diggz?
Yes.
Let's give him a big hand, folks. All right, yeah.
Guy Manley put it in the chat a while ago.
Whoa!
What the
Yippers, Mr. Manley. Mae Young, at 77 years old, somehow became pregnant and gave birth to a rubber hand. That was it.
Like,
This storyline went on for months, and this was the ultimate epitome of we don't know how to fucking end this. So there's a rubber hand coming out of Mae Young's hoo-ha.
that is so gross. That whole storyline was just gross.
It was painful to watch. Like, you cringed. You actually cringed.
Well, wasn't there a part too where it was him, Mae Young, and that was the other old lady that was part of that film?
Oh, Fabulous Moolah. Yeah.
There was a part where there was them two and Sexual Chocolate in bed.
Yeah, because that was that whole time period where Vince had a fetish for beating the shit out of old ladies.
Oh,
poor Mae Young getting powerbombed by Bubba Ray off the fucking stage. Like, Vince apparently is not cool with old ladies. So yeah,
the hand is now mayor of West Virginia.
Well, he's gonna run against Kane in Tennessee. Yeah.
Oh.
That happened. Mae Young was supposedly impregnated by Sexual Chocolate and
gave birth to Rubber Hand.
To a rubber hand, which, to make it even worse, I had to go back and watch that clip again today just for research's sake. And
research.
Smut. Oh yeah, because that's my idea of hot smut there, Diggz. Nothing like a 77-year-old woman giving birth to a rubber hand to get you going.
Get it handy.
But no, dude, so when they did the whole thing and there's Pat Patterson, he like pulls out the hand and they actually put like fake blood on it. Like, oh. Choke it down.
Oh my god.
Choke it down.
We're gonna leave you on that note, folks. Thank you for joining.
Yeah.
We went really long tonight. We appreciate you sticking around. We're here at 2-hour mark. We're gonna cut it. We're gonna say good night. We will see you next Tuesday with some new topics. Hopefully we can come up with something sooner rather than later.
Oh, I'm sure we can dig it up, Daddy.
Maybe some best intros next week. We'll come up with that.
Oh, the intro themes. Yeah, I like that.
Maybe best and worst intros.
We should play Billy Gunn's Ass Man the whole show.
Play Enzo for you.
All right, that might be strike 3. This could be the final show.
All
First,
right.
the movies. Now this
strike 3.
There, Diggz. Yeah.
We're out of here. I am Diggz. That is Jack Lawrence. We will see you guys next Tuesday. Thank you for watching and listening.
Hasta la pasta.